Making $250,000 a year in passive income. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian Heise here and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. Let's have a look at this article from news.com.au written by Alex Turner Cohen about making $250,000 a year in passive income. Now I'm going to have a shot of coffee and I want you to let us know in the comments how you think this is going to be achieved. Which one is it? Come on. Which scheme or... I mean, you're all going to know, guys. You're all going to know. It's bloody Australia. So what do you reckon? Property! Yes, it's property. Shock, horror, gasp to no one. So, Dad makes $250,000 a year doing nothing. Oh, bullshit, he doesn't do nothing. He's got to work hard. A Melbourne dad of four is raking in hundreds of thousands of dollars from doing absolutely nothing and managed to retire when he was just 36 years old. A Victorian dad of four, good work, more kids are better, has managed to retire at the age of 36 after finding a way to make $250,000 every year without doing any work. Cam McLennan started amassing properties when he was just 20 years with the aim of generating enough passive income so that he would never have to work again. After he hit $250,000 in earnings after tax from renting out his many properties, he decided to enter early retirement. Well, that's more like FIRE. Financially independent and retire early. He could probably go back to work if he wanted, or he'd probably do what he wants. He has managers in place running his portfolio, so essentially no longer has to do anything to lead a more comfortable lifestyle. Now 47, the father is sharing his tips for how he went from being poverty-stricken as a teenager on a Victorian farm to a man with more than 100 properties. 100 pieces of real estate to his name. 100! And he's only making $250,000 a year after that. Okay. So, his parents went bankrupt when he was 16 after a small business venture went terribly wrong. They ended up moving into a tin shed on his grandparents' farm, which his mother and dad insisted on calling a barn to sound more affluent. I heard them, my parents, arguing about whether to buy milk or bread, and it was a sort of light bulb moment. I didn't want my kids to go through that, he recalled, speaking to News.com. The then 16-year-old realized we were poor and moved out of home into Melbourne. There, Mr. McLennan completed his VCE, the state's end-of-school exam, while working multiple jobs to put a roof over his head. I was working 3 to 4 jobs, everything from forklift driving to stacking shelves in supermarkets. I just did that to survive, he said. Discontent with his life, he wanted to learn what to do with his money to escape the endless work grind. My driving force for investing was I hated my alarm clock, didn't want to keep working for 50 years, he explained. With no idea what to do, he started talking to rich people, and one of those people ended up becoming his mentor and showed him how to buy his first property. He built his way up, with his portfolio soaring, and dished out advice to friends and family. He ended up starting his own property company called Open Corp. Now with kids of his own, he's decided to write a book so he could pass down his tips and tricks to his children. As a new dad, if anything happens to me, the one thing no one can teach my kids is my investment knowledge. This month he launches his book, My 4-Year-Old, The Property Investor. He has purchased a property for each of his 4 kids, with him putting it in a trust. He has some main pieces of advice for anyone starting out on the property journey. One of those includes never getting emotionally attached to a property. If you're buying it as an investment rather than a forever home, then you should think with your head and not your heart. You also shouldn't buy investment properties near you. Instead, diversifying your purchases is key. Now, that's good advice right there. This is reflected in his 100-strong property portfolio. I got a high proportion of properties in Brisbane, Sydney, Melbourne, Brisbane and Perth. So Brisbane twice, he said. He likes Brisbane. However, he never buys in regional places. There's a golden rule of investing, he explains. Buy land in capital cities which have pressure on supply. Buying your first property is the most important, as this allows you to access equity and duplicate your portfolio. I'm very much a house guy. 90% of my properties are houses, 5% are townhouses, and 5% are low-risk apartments, he added. I stay away from areas with 10 stories or more in their apartment blocks. He also said investors shouldn't shy away from negatively geared properties if there was just a little bit of out-of-pocket costs, as this would probably all come back from tax breaks. What I was told, and what we were told by teachers, financial planners, and accountants about making money is wrong. 99% of Australians retire poor because they follow a cookie-cutter system which is not designed to create wealth, he said. Well, there you go. I mean, good on him. You know, good on him for making a bit of money. Let's have a talk about this one, guys. Now, here's the thing. He's managed to build a successful property empire. He's leaving a legacy for his children. Fantastic. It's encouraging and good to see. And one thing you have to be aware, he's done it in a time when the market has been riding up. Can this be duplicated again? Well, probably. You know, if you were smart and were sensible with your purchases and investments and probably didn't go too high. But, you know, there are warnings that we're hitting the top of a market. And, well, here, you know, honestly, if the market stagnated for 10 years, could you do the same thing here in Australia? There's the question for you guys. Well, let me know your thoughts and opinions on that one in the comments down below. And take care. Have a look at this video about who earns $3,000 per week. You know, the different jobs and different sectors here in Australia. Maybe it's all the people in the property sector. They're, you know, retiring early. Take care, guys. Have a great day, and I will see you in the next episode. Bye for now.